Kamilla, it is wonderful to be talking to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Now, I've been waiting for this interview all season long, obviously. Now, you say people are saying you should have got an Emmy. I would rather say you should get a Canadian Screen Award for your performance on Survivor. How was it like making it as far as you did?
Unbelievable. I mean, I still remember the moment. I still remember the feeling when I was out there in Fiji, just being so proud of how far I've come, so proud of making it to Final Four because I genuinely believed I would have been the first person sent home. Genuinely believed I was never making the jury. So I was just so proud in the moment. Still proud to this day about it.
Now, I don't know what it is, but us Canadians seem to do really well at the Survivor game. What give us some insight? Why do you think that is? Why do we do so well?
I think I think it's because we grew up in an environment with so many different people from so many different parts of the
Right,
world.
right.
You grow up with people who have so many different beliefs and upbringings from yourself, and you're around them from like the age of 4 or 5, and you're with them your entire life. You just are used to it. You know how to mesh. You know how to gel with other people. I think that's it. And also, we just have a certain politeness to us, even though I was a little cutthroat in some ways. I was still polite about it.
Well, it's like years ago, I had a friend from America come here to Toronto, and they were like, you guys have so much quote unquote diversity. I'm like, dude, it's just Tuesday here. Like, and he asked me too. He asked me, like, can you draw a picture of a typical Canadian? I'm like, I can't because what I would have to do is draw a picture. All I could do is draw a picture with a person that had with different people in one image, right? So, but it's very interesting how well we do at Survivor. And I want to ask you too, do you know if there's any tariffs on your winnings or anything like that?
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no, 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 no.
Now, what was it like to work? Oh, it's all serious. What was it like to work with Kyle? Because you guys you guys were like brother and sister out there.
I couldn't have asked for a better partner to play Survivor with. We were just very upfront with each other. We shared all the information we had with each other. We were very real with each other. You saw it in the one of us has to get to the end, not both
Yeah,
of us.
yeah.
We got to put the other one in fire making. We just had that sort of honesty in our partnership, and it just worked out so well. If one of us pitched an idea, we never shut it down. We'd explain our viewpoints. It was just such a good working relationship.
Now, I mean, again, in the Survivor game, obviously we're different people than outside of the game. There's things you would do in the game that you would not do outside because that's not your moral ethics or whatever. You did talk about how you were amazed at how easy it was to lie to people and convince the people. Did you shock yourself on how well you were able to play that part of the game, the manipulation part?
Yeah, there were times where I'm like, there's no way people are actually buying it. Like, surely they're lying back to me. And then to see the move be made, the payoff happen, I'm like, wow, they actually fell for it. What is it with my face?
Now, what do you think helps sell the? I mean, it's the biggest move of the season. Season obviously was getting Shaheen out and convincing Joe and Eva to turn on their ally. Were you stunned that it worked? And was there anything else that we saw about what went into that on the show?
Yeah, I think the important thing to remember here is that I had mentioned Shaheen may have an idol
Yeah,
couple days earlier. It's why David didn't want to throw spare votes my way because the man believed that Shaheen was going to play his idol on me.
yeah.
And so there was always this sort of information out there about Shaheen possibly having an idol. And so when I say he showed it to me, it seemed believable because for the past few days we were like, oh yeah, he probably has one.
Now, you that what surprised me the most about your and Kyle's relationship is again we get that scene where you say like, "Sorry, dude, I can't take you to the end." Where did that come from? Because that was absolute honesty, and that could have turned completely different if you were different people and you had a different relationship.
I think we were both kind of talking around it.
Right.
And then I finally was the one to be like, hey, just like we're not stupid. Neither of us are stupid. We both know what is our easiest path to the million. We know, and so I just set it out there. Um, and I'm glad that Kyle is the type of person who would like. from all of my conversations on the beach with him leading up to that point, I knew that he would be real about it and not like be upset about it, because I knew he was thinking the exact same thing.
Now, obviously, you guys kept your secret throughout the entire season. People knew you were friends, but they didn't know you were working together. What were the moments, if there were any, that you were afraid everything was going to come to the forefront?
Um, oh man, I think there were moments with the Shaheen vote, where there was this little montage of where Shaheen had just talked to Joe and he was very upset about the conversation. He's sitting next to me in the shelter and he's like, "Yeah, I talked to Joe," and my face was just like, "He talked to Joe. I'm screwed. I'm done. I've been." I genuinely thought that he knew what was going on. And that conversation was very scary. I thought at that point he was going to confront me, but he didn't. He just wanted to complain about Joe. He complained about Joe to Kyle. He complained about Joe to Mitch. He was just, yeah, having
Now,
a.
now we saw after the final tribal council vote, Jeff Probst posed the jurors, and they said they would all voted for you to win if you had made it to the end. What did that mean to you to hear that? Because obviously that's a big check mark on your game.
The biggest compliment in the world. They had mentioned, like, the jurors mentioned that to me when I got eliminated. They were just like, "Oh, we were rooting for you. We wanted to vote for you. Now we have to think of someone else." And I thought they were just being nice.
Yeah.
And then to hear Jeff ask that, I was just like, I immediately put my head in my hands, because I was like, "Oh, he only asks that about one player each season." So I actually was that close.
Yeah. And knowing that and everything that you went through on the island, would you go back and play again, Camilla?
Oh, 100%. 100%. As soon as it was over, it's like, I can take more time off. Let's go again.
Now, obviously, I mean, I ask this of every survivor because, again, we only get to see a really small part of your journey. Is there anything, whether it was, I don't know, a personal moment, a strategic moment, is there anything about your story in particular that you wish fans would have been able to see?
Um, I think it would have been nice to see how, I guess, a moment for me, because I mean, I was going to be like, "Ooh, I guess this is kind of related to me."
Yeah.
That there were, post merge, I was being policed heavily by David, Mary, and Star. I think if people saw that, they would kind of understand a bit more context behind those eliminations. They would have more context on why I didn't have the social pull, because I couldn't actually be seen talking to other people other than Mitch. And so I think that would have added some nice color to the rest of the season and more context.
Now, you mentioned before how much you love MapleStory. Um, obviously a big gamer myself. What else has your interest right now? What are you getting into?
Right now, I am replaying Valheim, because there's a new biome, the Ashlands. So I'm just burning through that with my friends right now, and I also, to distract myself from checking social media on my phone, I put Cookie Clicker on my phone, and so I just play Cookie Clicker all the time.
Now, do you think anything from those games helped you in the Survivor game? And if what?
Oh, you know what? Maybe not from those games, but from playing Valorant.
Right.
Because I play Valorant with a bunch of boys who have, I'm sorry, they're my friends, and I can say this. Some of them have like big egos, and when they die, they're just like arguing over each other, like, "You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that." And I'm just used to like big egos. I'm used to just being like, "Okay, whatever, whatever." Sometimes I'll snap at them, but
Right.
I am used to all of the chaos and people underestimating me and thinking I'm the worst at things. So I think that actually helped me.
Now, obviously, one of the biggest moments for you was when you were put into fire against Eva. And you even took the time to, encourage her and bring her along during that typical Canadian thing to do. Uh, what happened during that whole thing? I mean, it seemed like you just couldn't get anything going.
I was trying. Also, like, at some point, so I wasn't drinking that much water, because the Logi and Vula people don't know how to take care of their water well properly. And when they pour water in the bottle, they let all the sediment from the bottle drip into the well instead of pouring it outside of the well. So I was kind of turned off by the water. I wasn't drinking much, hence the hand cramping, the leg cramping. But for that Eva moment specifically, where I'm encouraging her, when she had her episode back at camp when
Right.
she couldn't get the fire going, it was actually a lot worse than what was shown on TV. It
Right.
was a lot harder for her than the initial episode that we saw in episode 5. And
Right.
when we got to tribal council, she was starting to get into that headspace again when she saw the supplies, like that started affecting her. So we took some time, talked her down from it, and then when I saw her getting back into that sort of headspace during the challenge, I was like, I
Right.
do not want that for her.
Right.
I can't imagine like how much she suffers when she's in that headspace. It's extremely difficult for people to watch, so I can't imagine like how hard it is on her.
Right.
Just did not want any human to suffer in that moment. I think anyone would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Now, one final question. You've talked before about how proud you were to have the representation, to present what you have. What did it mean for you to represent Canada in Survivor?
Honestly, there it was very very heavy weight on my shoulders because
Right.
Canadians do so well in Survivor. But I am so glad, so relieved that I was able to like make it pretty far, continue to be great representation for Canadians, and hopefully when Americans are like, oh, we're not that different from Canadians, this is further proof that we actually are quite different from them.
We actually very are. It was great talking to you, Camilla. All the best of everything in the future. And who knows, maybe your Survivor journey isn't over just yet. You never know.
Yeah, call me Jeff, please.
Take
Thanks,
care,
John.
Camilla. All the best in the future.
Thank you.